Have you ever wondered, how do archaeologists decide where to dig or even if to dig? What exactly is it that makes archaeologists choose specific sites for digging after they've decided whether or not digging is necessary? In this video, we're going to talk about the ethical and legal rules that archaeologists follow, how archaeologists learn where sites are located, and make the decision of whether or not to dig at all. Believe it or not, archaeologists don't always dig at sites. In fact, the rules of the Register of Professional Archaeologists say that archaeologists should actually only dig in two cases. Number one, where digging is needed to protect a site that's being destroyed, or number two, where digging is the only way to answer research questions about a site. And if an archaeologist needs to dig, they're required to leave as much of the site intact as possible. Why is that? Back when archaeology was a new science in the later 1800s, archaeologists like C.B. Moore, one of the first American archaeologists, dug at sites mainly to find intact artifacts. They didn't know that things like charcoal or soot would one day let archaeologists find dates, and they didn't realize that a lot of artifacts needed to be caught during screening to get a full picture of the site. Today, on the other hand, we realize that archaeologists in the future are likely to have technologies that let us understand more about sites, like radiocarbon dating and other tests that tell us how artifacts were made and used. That means that sites need to have areas left intact so future researchers can learn more. So, how do historical archaeologists decide whether and where to dig? First, historical archaeologists, like historians, normally begin their research in the library. We use historical documents to try to figure out where people lived in the past and what kind of things we might find at sites. Then, archaeologists reach out to people who live in the area and ask them, have you seen places where there are artifacts on the ground? Do you know of areas that might be archaeological sites? People who live in different areas know their communities best, and they can tell archaeologists not only where sites may be, but what kind of questions about their past that they'd like to see answered. Finally, when archaeologists have an idea about where sites may be, they create a research design. A research design is a set of research questions that the historical archaeologist would like to answer. Hypotheses inform guesses about how people in the past may have lived that they want to test, and based on the questions and hypotheses, the things they think would be present at an archaeological site if their hypotheses are true. At this point, a historical archaeologist has done all they can before going to the field. Now it's time to test their ideas in the real world.